Hello everyone, this is the storyteller and today we are again talking about Alyssa Milano's crazy petition against Georgia, a state that has passed down some regulations on abortion. But something is else than Alyssa Milano is cooking up between the Baldwin brothers. Reportedly, Baldwin brothers, there are four Baldwin brothers as much as I know. They have been divided in two fragments after the Trump election. Some of them wanted Trump or liked Trump, while the other completely despised Trump. So ever since then, the Baldwins have been kind of fragmented. So Stephen Baldwin calls out his brother Alec Baldwin over support of Hollywood boycott of Georgia, spirit of hate. This is, I think, Alec Baldwin is saying this spirit of hate, but this is not about hatred. This is about respecting life. I really clap over the bravery that Briankemp is having to at least support and have actual love for life of unborn babies. Actor Stephen Baldwin, I'm reading this from Downing into Comics, written by Jorge Reyes, from April 2, 2019. Actor Stephen Baldwin called out his brother Alec Baldwin for what he calls having a spirit of hate. Oh, he's calling out Alec Baldwin to have a spirit of hate after Alex signed a letter encouraging Hollywood to boycott the state of Georgia. Their spat stems from the state moving a heartbeat bill to Governor Briankemp's desk, which would ban abortions when a heartbeat is detected. Heartbeats can be detected as early as 6 weeks after conception. Now, at this point of time, at 6 weeks, the embryo is probably, or should I say, the gamete is probably the size of a pea. But a heartbeat can be detected. Thus, it has life. Stephen Baldwin tweeted out, avoided tweets like this long as I could. Love will ultimately win. Jesus loves, but for so long I've sat back and trusted God as my own family members have perpetrated. The spirit of hate through abortion, mockery, and blindness. #sad, #Alec, #hates, #pray. He goes on, Stephen Baldwin clearly references his brother when he uses the #Alec. He even notes that his own family members have perpetrated the spirit of hate through abortion. In a follow-up tweet, Stephen Baldwin would add that number of people ask him, what are we going to do about those brothers of yours? And I always say, God's got them and you're praying for them, yes. So obviously, Stephen Baldwin wants good for Alec Baldwin, but his Christian friends ask him that what are we going to do about your brothers? But Stephen Baldwin says that God will help them all. No need to be too much anxious about my brothers. And see, I am personally not a Christian or a Hindu or anybody. I am actually an atheist. And I would say one thing, that the earlier religions like Christianity, Islam, or many other religions at least valued the lives of their own, which means they valued the lives of their own community. But the crazy religion of SJWism, the social justice-ism that has risen, they are one-sided, crazy as people. They're one-sided. They put the importance of women's autonomy, bodily autonomy, at height, but they do not see, they completely ignore to see that many organizations are taking the right of unborn children to live. They are literally grabbing the fetuses and pulling them out from their mother's wombs as they fight for their life. But of course, we can say this to these feminist crazies because they have drunk the Kool-Aid of segregationist idiocy. Older religions never called for the killing of their own. They perhaps sometimes called for the killing of the other communities, but they never called the killing of their own. But anti-liberalism is different. They call the killing of their own little children, unborn children, really, like 4 or 5 months. I don't know. Baldwin would sarcastically conclude, revealing his favorite thing people would say when true Christians make mistakes or are vulnerable or weak or beat down and maybe even sin or get angry. He says, by the way, my favorite thing people say when true Christians make mistakes, etc., they say, oh well, that's not very Christian. Alec Baldwin, like many other stars in Hollywood, happily signed a letter calling for the Hollywood movie and entertainment industry to boycott the state of Georgia as Governor Kemp signs the bill into law. The letter was quite explicit. It reads in part as, quote, as actors, our work often brings us to Georgia. We have always found your state to be populated with friendly and caring people. We have found the hotels in which we stay and restaurants in which we dine while filming there to be comfortable and of a high quality. We have been glad to bring billions of dollars in revenue to support Georgia's spirits, Georgia's schools, parks, and communities. So they're thanking for everything, but here's the thing. They continue to say, but we cannot, in good conscience, continue to recommend our industry remain in Georgia if HB 481 becomes law. The letter goes on to describe the bill as dangerous and deeply flawed. Dangerous and deeply flawed. It also describes the bill as evil. We can't imagine being elected officials who had to say to their constituents, I enacted a law that was so evil, it chased billions of dollars out of our state's economy. But again, I should tell you what they are saying. They are saying that our billions of dollars have more value than the kids you are going to kill. That's what they're saying. Their $1 billion have more value than the kids you are basically are saving out of not having abortions. This is what they're saying. They are equating. This is the trope of the feminist, corrupt capitalist people. Feminists are not actually about rights. It is about corruption and capitalism. Feminism is about women who are just as greedy as men, and they are telling this that their money, their $1 billion, is more important than kids who are supposed to be there or something like that. Finally, it concludes, we will do everything in our power. They're saying we would do everything in our power to move our industry to a safer state for women if SB 481 becomes law. Please do so. Please say go away. Because here's the thing, humanity doesn't die off just because one thing is cancelled. I have been in the writing business for a long time now. I write various short essays and things for other people. My name doesn't exactly come up everywhere, but I do ghostwriting for a lot of people. And here's the thing: if one chapter of life ends, another begins. if you move your movie industry from Georgia, people in Georgia won't die. They won't die. They will find something new. But it begs the question, why do they film in a state like Georgia in the first place? The writer of this article has put down a great question here. Why do they film in a state like Georgia in the first place? Easy answer. Tax credits and tax breaks. It's one of the reasons many shows and movies film in states like Georgia. In fact, Georgia provides a 30% tax credit in a production spends, if a production spends at least $500,000 in the state. And of course, we know that productions, they spend millions, like $100 to $200 million in movie production. So 500,000 is like chump change for them. Like $1.5 million is nothing for them when they are spending $120, $130 million in movie business. And those tax credits have lured major TV and film productions, with reportedly 455 productions that did $2.7 billion in spending the fiscal year in fiscal year 2018. The Atlanta Business Chronicle even declared that Georgia was the number one filming location in the world in 2017. So somebody needs to not stop, but at least debate, show opposition to these feminist crazies of the entertainment industry. They don't know how harmful is their propaganda for the whole society, and we are creating monsters. One of their leading habits is also that they try to overly emphasize the living or life habits of women more than anything else. In this case, we see that they are saying that the women's life's importance is more than the child. I mean, comfortable life. They are saying that the women's comfortability of their life is basically more important than the little pea-sized child in her womb. But they also say that if a soldier dies in a battle, it takes just 1 second to die, so it's probably not harmful. But if a woman gets raped, then she has to bear the shame for all of her life. Bear the shame. What is shame? Shame is a social construct. Bear the shame for all her life. So the pain of the woman is more. The pain of the woman is more than the soldier who died in a war. That's their theory. These people are completely one-sided, and they call everybody who calls against their one-sided politics as misogyny, while they are clearly misandrists and anti-natalists. That is all I have to say today, and please do not cooperate with the misandrists and anti-natalists of the entertainment industry. I mean, that is what I am suggesting you. Please like and subscribe if you like this content. Hit that notification bell. We will be back with more reviews, more fringe, and God save us all. Peace. Even if I'm an atheist, please, God save us all.